Welcome to the Good Karma Sport Fishing Podcast. I'm your host, Captain Ryan Van Fleet. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is going to be a short podcast today because I'm extremely busy and I am getting ready for the next 3 to 4 weeks here. So I've been out a lot. I think I've just lost track of the days. So today I am getting restocked and a lot of this stuff has been just put through hell. I can honestly say that out of the past 4 weeks, I think I had one slow day, and it just happened a couple days ago. And the current was kind of crappy, and it was north wind. It was like typically on a north wind, I do very well, but it was a lighter north wind, and it wasn't. I don't know, just something was off. So, but the following day, we just smacked them. We smacked them good. So you'll just have to tune in to what I've been catching on my Instagram here. I'll start posting some pictures on Friday, maybe Friday. Yeah, more than likely Friday. I'll start posting some pictures of what I've been catching. I've just been too busy for social media lately, and honestly, it's not a priority because I've got so much going on with the Good Karma Sport Fishing rigging crew, and then the podcast. And I really enjoy doing the podcast because I know that I've really helped some people. And, you know, a few weeks ago, I put out some podcasts to weed out some people. So, and it is what it is. I want quality listeners that are really in it and really want to get better at fishing. And I'm a huge fan of Yellowstone. It's on the Paramount Network. It's just an awesome show. And one of the lines the old cowboys go, he said, you got to really love it. And that's what I try to tell people is like, you really got to love it. And my tips that I'm going to provide you with a tip about, you know, everybody's like, oh, I can't get out. I can't do this. I'm down in the Keys. I can't, it's blowing 30, but I really want to apply this and I really want to do it. I was ready. Well, this is my tip for you guys for today. And I ended this last night with my rigging crew. And I'm going to provide you another tip too, and just that I just thought of again on the whim. But if you need to practice running planers or practice putting up kites, it's like so you go out and buy a bunch of kite shit, and you want to learn how to fly a kite. And it just seems like people come up with excuses when they go out and buy all this stuff, and it's really funny. It's like, oh, I went out and bought all this stuff, but I haven't been able to use it. I haven't been able to practice. But there are waterways like inlets and stuff that you can practice in on days when it's windy. And I know 90% of you guys are in areas that you have to go through inlets and calm water to get there, canals. It's really, and you can do that stuff on the weekdays when things are busy when things are kind of slow. Like for down here, for example, how I learned how to do a lot of my new techniques and when I was learning something is I never would put it in the water outside the reef on days when I would go fishing. So I waited till it got windy and I went out to the Patries or I went into the bay. Okay. And I went into the bay a lot. And I went into the bay to learn how to fly kites. I would just put a kite up, one kite, and I'm still working on this one particular kite method that I deep down, I know it's going to be lethal because there's not a lot of people doing it. And I've almost got it figured out. I'm really close. I just have to make some modifications to it. It's going to be a badass. So I'll talk more about that in the future. But anyways, so I go out in the bay when it's windy and I practice things by myself on putting things up because I don't want to have to rely on somebody else. And I see a lot of guys, they rely on somebody else for certain things, and it's really a bad thing, to be honest with you guys. You need to learn and to be confident in what you're doing on your own. And even if you fuck up and dump your kite in the water, it is what it is. It's all part of it. And when you do figure it out, you're going to think back on that stuff and you go like, wow. So those were the things. That's the whole part of that all is the blood, sweat, and the tears, and to get to a certain point to where you're successful. So at catching a certain fish. So just keep that in mind. Windy days, if you're down here on vacation and you're like, oh my God, I can't get out to the reef. I'm so bummed. I can't get my kids out. You know what you can do? You can get up really early in the morning and you can go out into a patch, and you can practice pulling your planers, pull some smaller plugs, pull some bait strips with under a sea witch, and just practice setting it. Okay, just practice it. Practice your kites. Go out in the bay and make sure you're not anywhere near any crab pots, and pull the planers. Practice how to do it. Practice how to get your kites up and all that other good stuff. And flying a kite on a patch is amazing. So after you've had some fun on the patch and things start to slow down a little bit, put a kite in the back and watch the size of the mackerel that you're going to catch. And everybody says you can't put a ballyhoo on a kite. Yes, you can. Oh my gosh, yes, you can. So I'm going to, like I said, these are some of the things I'll talk about here in the future this winter, because like I said, the podcast was going to be back bigger than badder than ever. So I'm going to be talking about this kind of stuff. And, you want to liven up your fishing a little bit and have some fun and learn how to get your baits way back there. I talked about using a beach rod, one of the surf casting rods, to throw your, get those ballyhoo way back in the slick for those big muttons that are back there that are lurking. That's where the cobias are at. When you put a kite up on the patch, if there's a cobia back there, he's going to eat it. You don't know what's way back there in that slick on a patch. You really don't, man. I mean, honestly. So just keep that in mind. Some of the biggest cobia I've caught have been on patches, and they've swam up to the boat, and I pitched a Rapalas at them. So just keep that in mind. It's awesome. So gag groupers, if you're lucky enough to have a honeycomb hideout spot with some gags, throw some plugs at them. That's cool. I used to do that years ago, but I don't do that anymore. So plugs got expensive, and they all kept getting rocked up. So, but they get destroyed, or the kudas would cut them off. But I don't do that anymore. But anyhow, so that's where I'm at with it. In other words, I'm going to leave you guys with that tip. Is there's always time to practice, and practice at home when it's windy. Practice your knots. Practice tying titanium wire. It's not hard, okay? And you can use also to a titanium, you can use a little heat shrink. You go to the hardware store, you can buy some heat shrink for wire, and you got to size it for the titanium knot. And then what you do is just take a cigarette, like a cigarette lighter, or you can take I use the grill lighter, and then I just heat shrink the knots on the titanium for the rigs I'm using offshore, like for live bait, when I'm slow trolling for wahoo or sailfish. I like to use titanium leader because it doesn't kink, and I feel that I hook more sailfish when I'm live baiting with titanium. I don't like to not use wire when I'm using live bait, because I just know that the wahoo are going to slash through that, because I've seen it several times. But so yeah, you can find time to practice and be creative, okay? And I don't, for me, it's been hard because I hear the excuses, and you can make excuses for certain things, but other things you can't. So there's always time and the practice. You have a boat, so it's like, yeah, it feels expensive. It's like, yeah, but fishing's expensive too. Buy a course. Learn practical information that actually will catch you fish. So just honestly, but just think of it like that. My last tip for you guys is reeling against the drag. And a lot of people that I've had over the past 4 weeks. And I've had it since the beginning of forever, is reeling against the drag. So the easiest way to teach somebody not to reel against your drag, and I suggest that if you have kids, that you start them early on this, is never reel against the drag. Okay? So, and I see a lot of people watching their reels. I had a father and son on Saturday, and it was extremely rough, and we were bottom fishing. And here's how I teach the kids on not to reel against the drag, okay? When the rod tip is bent and there's pressure on that, you stop. So you're watching your reel, so you watch the tip, okay? When that rod is bent over hard, you let the fish pull. and then as the rod retracts, the tip retracts and starts to slowly come up, you reel. Okay? Rod is bent, you stop. As that rod tip starts to come back to you or flex back, you're reeling. So that's something that I'll show in a video here in the future, but it's the easiest way to teach people not to reel against the drag. Only bad things happen, okay? Only bad things happen when you reel against the drag. That's where I'm going to leave it today. So I just want to let the guys know that the reef course, the part 2 is available. I have had very little time to get out in the water and record part 3. I'm almost there with finishing it. It's just been extremely difficult. So, but I will be completing that here very, very soon. And I will be getting some stuff out there for you guys as well for that. It's just been extremely busy, and I appreciate you guys all patience with that. But and also to the guys that have reached out and said, "Wow, what an amazing course, Ryan! Loads of nuggets, and it's really just provided me with some great information." The courses are meant to give you like practical information without all the bullshit. And also too, I have one big course that I have available right now, and it's for new captains that want to accelerate quickly, and it's a business consulting program. So, and if you're one of those guys that want to start a business and want to get it there very quickly, you can give me, and you can email me at goodkarmaryan@gmail.com. We can set up a time to talk. That's all I got for today, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy your weekend. Hope you guys get out there and do some fishing. Looks like we're going to have some wind next week. Good time to get out there and do some patchery fishing. Make sure you follow me on Instagram because I'm going to start posting what I've been catching. And over the course of the next few days, starting on Friday, I'll probably post for about 3 or 4 days. I'm just so busy. So then you can see what's been going on. Also, too, if you're looking to fish with me this winter, you need to make your reservations as soon as possible. So I have no availability through, I think, for the rest of this month. So if you're looking to fish with me in January, you need to give me a shout before that fills up, and February. Also, too, spring break fills up very quickly. It's already started filling up. So get your reservations in early. That's all I got. Thanks, guys. And remember, anytime you're fishing, it's all good.